Welcome to NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
And here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome into NFL Primetime. I'm just going to warn you, it's always good when the analysts are getting into an argument about something we talked about in the tease.
We'll talk about that later.
It could be a little feisty today. Trey Wingo here with Merrill Hodge and Tim Hasselbeck. We have a huge one to close out Week 12 tonight as the New York Giants, riding a two-game losing streak, head to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Saints coming off their bye, a tough spot for the Giants if there ever was one. For a DirecTV team report, we kick it down to New Orleans and Wendy Nix. Wendy, how are the Giants going to respond? They've lost 2 in a row, including that tough one at home to the Eagles.
Trey, Giants guard Chris Snee says this entire season has been frustrating for his team's identity, in part because the Giants are not doing many of the things they've traditionally done well, and that ugly loss to Philadelphia is a prime example. Tom Coughlin called the run game pathetic, managing just 29 yards. That fearsome pass rush, well, they sacked the Eagles quarterback just one time. That was the only time he was hit during that game, and a defense that preaches finish, finish, finish managed to give up an 18-play, 9-minute fourth-quarter drive that eventually cost the Giants the game. Embarrassing, said Justin Tuck. So what do? Tuck said the word around practice all week was intensity, that the defensive line stepped it up, and that he also expects this offensive line to come out and play nasty tonight because they have something to prove. Tom Coughlin also said he was very pleased with his team's effort to regroup all week. But, Trey, we'll soon see if it's enough against Drew Brees and this Saints offense.
All right, Wendy, thanks. We'll talk more about that Giants defense in a minute. But if they had troubles with Vince Young and the Eagles offense, Tim, or you put in the film of what the New Orleans Saints can do, it's impressive. Yes, they have all these weapons and they do things very well. But you look at 2 specific matchup problems that you think are going to be real problem for the Giants tonight.
Yeah, if you look at where the Giants struggle in pass coverage, it's at the linebacker level, and they're going to be without their best cover linebacker in Michael Boley. And when you look at what the Saints like to do on offense, they like to get Jimmy Graham and Darren Sproles matched up against a linebacker or a safety, and it's an advantage for the Saints offense. And they do it better than anybody in the National Football League. Look at this, 3 wide receivers up the top, isolate Jimmy Graham down to the bottom of the screen. You have a safety down in the box, basically. So single high safety, one-on-one matchup outside for Jimmy Graham. And I want you to appreciate this. That's Glover Quinn. He played corner last year. He's now a safety. Look at the way Jimmy Graham is able to run right by him. So now when you see the Saints do a similar thing, 3 wide receivers up top, ISO Jimmy Graham again. But now you have 2 high safeties. So the one-on-one matchup is for Darren Sproles on A.J. Hawk.
See ya.
Let me tell you, that's a win for the Saints offense. You look at this from behind, and you see what Drew Brees sees. 2 high safeties, which means now he's not working Jimmy Graham. He's working Darren Sproles, and that is absolutely ridiculous. Look at the separation from the linebacker in the room to run. The New Orleans Saints, Sean Payton, they do a tremendous job designing plays to get matchups for those players, and then as you see, those guys take advantage of it.
And they're coming off their bye week. They know they need to keep pace with the Atlanta Falcons, right? You heard Merrill, Wendy say, listen, the Giants defense is known about one thing, getting to the passer. They struggled with that against Vince Young in that loss to Philadelphia. Can they do it against the New Orleans Saints?
And they better, brother.
Yeah.
You heard Wendy Nix also talk about Tom Coughlin using the word pathetic for the running game. That's exactly the word he could use with their pass rush pressure. Because if you're not going to get pressure on Drew Brees, it's going to be a long, long night for the Giant defense. They have got to get consistent pressure. When you rush 4, the Giants have to do this. Against Philadelphia, they got nothing. They allowed Vince Young to stand there, drop the ball off, get first downs, and then he didn't get first downs, they got touchdowns. Again, 4 guys rushing, beautiful pocket, room to move, no pressure. Everything is beautiful for your offense. Everything stays on rhythm. You go through their entire progression, and now you bring 5. You bring 5 and you still can't get pressure. The pocket is still clean. It is still beautiful. When you talk about and think about how important pressure is on your quarterback, let me define it like this. If you can get to that quarterback in 1 second, us 3 can play defensive back in the National Football League. We can, okay? When you give them 5 seconds, there's almost nobody that can play defensive back or linebacker in the National Football League. If they do not do this tonight, Saints will control this entire game, and they will go up and down the field on them.
And we saw that actually play out in the game between Denver and San Diego, especially late in that contest, which we'll get into a little bit later. Meanwhile, Drew Brees still on pace, one of several quarterbacks, by the way, on pace to shatter Dan Marino's single-season record for most passing yards. And he's got 38 straight games with at least one touchdown pass. That's second only to the great John Unitas, who still holds the record at 47 consecutive games. When we continue here on NFL Primetime, if it was an elimination game between the Bills and the Jets Sunday, the Bills were eliminated, and they cost themselves on more than one occasion. We'll get into that. Meanwhile, Vince Young, so good. Tom Brady, so much better this week. And are the Patriots now clicking both offensively and defensively? And Tim Tebow, when it matters most, he's at his best. How long can this keep going? That's ahead on Primetime.
NFL Primetime is presented by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go. And in part by Visa. More fans go with Visa.
Season long, live on ESPN America HD.
The Numbers is brought to you by Visa. More fans go with Visa. Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
And welcome back to Primetime. Trey Wingo here with Merrill Hodge and Tim Hasselback. While Tebowing has swept not only Denver, but the entire nation, this whole idea in San Diego of November, when the team usually catches fire, has not been working. San Diego at home for Denver, riding a 5-game losing streak. Baby. Yeah, this has not been their November. And one of the reasons why on Sunday was the Broncos' defense. Yes, we talk about Tim Tebow all the time, but look at Elvis Dumervil, and he collapses the pocket, Tim.
Yeah, you know, Marcus McNeil out for the San Diego Chargers, and you're right, Elvis Dumervil just walks the tackle back into Rivers' lap.
It has not been a great year for Phillip Rivers on 3rd and 6, and that one probably should have been picked off by Andre Goodman. Chargers forced to punt. Listen, if it's not going to be Dumervil, it's going to be Von Miller, and that's a spin move for the ages.
Boy, they came off the edge, they pushed the pocket. The one thing that I'm impressed with Phillip Rivers, man, he doesn't blink. He stays in that pocket, takes shot after shot, and still tries to throw the football down the field.
When you said shot after shot, you mean like this from Brian Dawkins coming in on the delayed blitz. Look how late he comes in on this blitz.
Look how cautious he is not to hit him up high. Actually, smart play by Dawkins.
That's why he's smart. And we go inside the numbers to see that it's the Broncos' defense that has certainly been a huge factor in their 4-game winning streak. In the Broncos' first 7 games, the defense was allowing over 28 points per, but just 15 points a game in their last 4, and they are allowing fewer yards, and 3rd down conversion percentage has dropped from 40% to less than 28. Obviously, defense a big part of the way the Broncos are playing, both offensively and defensively, and winning games. But winning games, it's what Tim Tebow has done his entire career. Hanging around, it's the 4th quarter, it's Tim Tebow time. Broncos down 13-10, and Eric Decker comes in motion, and there's the time that Tebow has with a slow rush. And that's a beautiful throw to Eric Decker.
Nice throw down the field. Even better catch by Eric Decker. Look at the concentration. Gets his arm underneath it. Excellent job of working for his quarterback.
They reviewed that, but the play would stand later in the drive, 2nd and 9. It's Tebow, again with a comfortable pocket. That's a great throw to Dante Rosario.
That's actually one of his best throws of the year right there.
Gain of 23, so it's 3rd and 8. Tim Tebow rolling right, pump fake, gets the defender in the air, and then he's just going to muscle his way and finally brought him down, but not enough for a first down. Field goal ties it at 13. So what could the Chargers do? Under 2 minutes to play. Chargers had 1 timeout over the middle of Mike Tolbert. Not a lot there. Minimal gain. Later in the drive, Rivers 1 more time. It's 3rd and 13, Tim, and they go check down.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers wants to push the ball down the field. He's got to check it back down to Mike Tolbert. And really, a lot of frustration, Philip Rivers on the day, not able to push the ball down the field the way he wants.
So we go to overtime. It's 3rd and 6, and they call a running play to the left. They lose 4 yards.
Honestly, this is the play of the day. They were getting 2 to 7 yards a crack. So that's a loss of about 6 yards. Now instead of going from 47, you're going from 53.
Novak missed one in regulation. Actually had the first one here blocked, but John Fox had called the timeout. That one wasn't even close. And now, because of where they spot the ball, Tebow and company get great field position. Not that they needed it, because on 2nd and 10, Tebow runs to the right. Questionable hit there that might have been called for a late flag, but it wasn't. And then on 2nd and 6, they just walk right up the middle. Willis McGahee, a huge gain of 24 to the Chargers 17.
Yeah, when you talk about this offensive line, has been amazing what they've done in the running game. If you ever wanted to watch what offensive linemen love to do, you just watch the Denver Broncos offensive line. They can't wait to get back to the huddle because they're running the ball again.
And then as he's Tebowing, Matt Prater does this. The Broncos win 16-13 in overtime. Tebow now 5-1 as a starter, and it is time for the hot button topic presented by Sony. Listen, coaching is at its best, Tim, when the coach realizes what he has and adapts his philosophy to the talent around him. That's certainly what the Broncos have done, especially on offense.
There's no doubt about it, and I think if you're going to single out a specific coach, it would be Mike McCoy, the offensive coordinator. Tim Tebow becomes his quarterback, and about halfway through the season, he has to completely change what the Broncos are doing on offense. And remember, Mike McCoy learned, the West Coast offense is how he first learned the NFL game. Then he was with Dan Henning for a while in Carolina. And now he's in a situation where he's running a spread offense in Denver with Tim Tebow as his quarterback, and it's remarkable to see the concepts they're using. Look at this, a bubble screen up here, what's going to look like a bubble screen to the Chargers defense. One of the concepts of that spread game. Well, look what they have, basically a move off of that, a complement to that, and a nice throw by Tim Tebow because it's a passing concept he understands. Now, because you have a quarterback that can run with the football, you have an advantage in the box in terms of running because the linebacker has to play the quarterback, the safety has to play the pitch man, which creates a huge alley for McGahee to run the football. Again, you have 6 blockers. You're going to leave the outside linebacker free, so you have a hat on a hat. This is in overtime. When they know that you're going to run the football, Tim Tebow is going to hold the backside defender. Willis McGahee right up the middle, hat on a hat, gets them down into field goal range. And it is very difficult for a coach to coach a system that he's not comfortable with, that he's not totally familiar with, but that's exactly what Mike McCoy is doing. The guys are buying into it, and it's an excellent job for a coach that is definitely a little bit of a fish out of water, but doing a great job with this group.
And if you really wanted to know what was some of the biggest difference in this team, and what has Tim Tebow done or not done, that's why I love watching press conferences, because a coach will really tell you what the keys are. Even players start speaking about what is the difference with Denver. I want you to listen to Coach John Fox and Willis McGahee because they're really going to answer what is the keys for the Broncos right now.
He's been protecting the ball very well, not turning it over, and that always gives you a chance. So, I'm happy we have him.
That's not Tim Tebow. It's the whole team. You got defense. Yeah, that's great. He can be 5-1. But it's a team thing, you know what I mean? He can't do it without the defense or the offense, and we can't do it without the defense either. So, you know what I mean? It's a team sport. I'm congrats him being 5-1, but, there's 52 other players that actually played their hearts out on that football field today.
I wanted you to hear that because coaches and players really tell you the truth. If you listen, there's usually some truth in everything that they say. When John Fox talks about turnover, if there was one stat that would indicate a team is going to win or lose, it is the turnover battle. Tim Tebow has not turned the ball over. He doesn't throw it consistently. He's inaccurate, and he has all those issues. They run the football, and they don't turn it over. They control the tempo. But Willis McGahee, I thought, spoke volumes to what that locker room believes. See, the media has created, Tim Tebow won. There's 21 other guys on that field that contribute to do that,
listen,
too.
No question.
I understand that's how he answered that question. Guys have rallied around Tim Tebow, though. He can answer that how he wants. And you ask Champ Bailey, and you see Champ Bailey respond or Brian Dawkins respond. Tim Tebow's not doing it by himself. Aaron Rodgers not doing it by himself in Green Bay. To me, once you start worrying about who's getting the credit in the locker room, then that's just selfishness. That's poison.
You know what? Selfishness for Willis McGahee, who has made big-time runs, to have somebody come over and go, hey, listen, Tim Tebow just won a game again. Willis McGahee go, hey, wait a minute. I did a few things. 2 offensive lines done a few things. Guess what? Our defense has done a few things.
From the way that they're running the football because of the quarterback they have
has the
can run
right
that.
in a locker room to say exactly what he said
After
and
a
how
win
he
like
said.
that, worrying about who's getting credit?
Well, we
Wait,
don't know that he
he's
was
around.
worrying about the
He's
credit.
nothing wrong
He's
spreading
saying
it around.
let's make sure it's just not one
And
guy.
listen,
Absolutely. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It's not one guy on any football team. It's no different.
That's all. Okay. You just said what Willis
What I'm
McGahee
saying is
said.
you're worried about where the credit is going on this thing.
Let's make sure there's no credit. There's no worry.
He's sitting there
Hold
just
on,
talking
hold on.
about where the credit
Hold
should
on.
go.
There's no credit being given in that locker room to any one person. There's no credit being given to everyone on the set. You're both doing a great job. Denver will try and keep it going, by the way, at Minnesota. San Diego will go to Jacksonville for Monday night, see if they have anything left. And don't forget, for more hot button topics where Merrill and Tim will get, bare knuckles, log on to ESPN.com, search NFL Hot Button. Also check out NFL.com. When we continue here on NFL Primetime, Stevie, the league may be making you think, why so serious with the way they deal with some of the things you did against the Jets and what the Jets did late to make sure that one went okay. Mike Tomlin and company found a way, although some of the plays by the Chiefs late, very questionable Sunday night.
Hot Button is brought to you by Sony, who invites you to get into the conversation. Log on to ESPN.com, search NFL Hot Button.
Monday Night Football live on ESPN America. It's Week 12, and it's time to get serious in the Superdome. Manning returns to his hometown looking to rack up another road win for the Giants. But Breeze and the black and gold are ready to make a statement of their own in the Big Easy. It all starts tonight at 0100 CET with Monday NFL Countdown. Monday Night Football live on ESPN America, home of the NFL.
Washington's a great rivalry. I think it all started with George Allen and Tom Landry, and obviously it's just built from there.
To be able to go back and look at the past and all the things that have happened and what that game means, that just, just fueled everything.
Going deep, and the pass is caught for a touchdown. Brunell going deep for Morse again. He makes the catch.
As Cowboys met Buffalo for a rematch, Emmitt Smith, the game's MVP, rushed for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns to hand the Buffalo Bills their 4th consecutive Super Bowl defeat. In 1996, Dallas went in pursuit of yet another NFL championship. The game turned in the Cowboys' favor as cornerback Larry Brown's 2 key interceptions both culminated in Dallas touchdowns, the second of which came in the final minutes of the game to lock up the win for Dallas.
Welcome back to Primetime. I'm Wendy Nix in New Orleans with a team report. Drew Brees has passed for more yards through 10 games than any quarterback in NFL history. He's on pace to finish the season with more than 5,300 yards. That would smash Dan Marino's 27-year-old record of 5,084. Brees came close in 2008 when he joined Marino as the only other quarterback to pass the 5,000-yard mark, but admits now that Chase back then was a source of frustration and pressure. That 2008 Saints team went 8-8 and didn't make the playoffs. Brees says his perspective is different now. The Saints are winning, and he believes a second championship in 3 years is a real possibility. So as long as it doesn't interfere with the team goal, says Brees, the record would be a nice footnote to a championship season.
Talking Numbers is brought to you by Charles Schwab. Let's talk about the personal attention you and your money deserve. Talk to Chuck.
Primetime rolls on in what was perhaps an elimination game in the AFC East. Bills, end of their 3-game road trip, taking on the Jets. And Stevie Johnson did a lot of very good things, Tim, for his team, including really going after Darrelle Revis and making a lot of catches like here.
You're exactly right, Trey. He gave Darrelle Revis all that he could handle. has so much patience coming off the ball, working his releases. And I think Darrelle Revis really wanted to back away from him, like you see here, and try to play him without getting up in his face too much.
Yeah, but then the problems start after the touchdown. He mocks Plexico Burress dancing at a nightclub and shooting himself in the thigh. Stay classy, Stevie. And then on the way down, he actually got flagged for the secondary mocking of Santonio Holmes' Jets thing, which cost his team 15 yards. So the touchdown was good, and then the ridiculousness afterwards. Meanwhile, Mark Sanchez, remember he got benched during the practice this week, had Mark Brunell taking some first-team reps. That did not seem to motivate him early. He's picked up by Drayton Florence.
That's probably the rep he didn't get.
Exactly. Bill set up a field goal. But then, you know, the thing about the Jets, when they get close, they can finish it. 14-yard touchdown to Plaxico, tied it up at 14. Then the final drive with the Jets down 3. Mark Sanchez made some throws, and his receivers won for him. Here's Patrick Turner with a nice catch for a gain of 12 and a first down. And then maybe the play of the game on 3rd and 11. Are you kidding me, Plexico Burress, Tim?
Fantastic adjustment to the football. Really a poorly thrown ball, but Plex is able to find it, track it, and then he just covers so much area with his long wingspan.
Gain of 18 and a first down, and 2 plays later, Sanchez starts to his left, rolls to his right, and on the move throws a dart to Santonio Holmes for the touchdown. 12 plays, 82 yards. The Jets go up 28-24. However, they gave the Bills enough time to see if they could have something happen. 35 seconds left. Ryan Fitzpatrick on 2nd and 13. That's a strike. And Stevie, that could have been a touchdown, but Stevie Johnson drops it.
Focus, my friends. You're too worried about dancing and doing things that do not matter in a game, and you lose focus for a second, you cost your team a win.
Yeah, later in the drive, 15 seconds left on 2nd and 7. Fitzpatrick into the end zone. Now, this one's a little behind Stevie, but once again, got his hands on it. Couldn't make the play.
Got his hands on it. You see how close this thing is to being a touchdown. Ryan Fitzpatrick outside the pocket. Could lead him into the field a little bit more. Stevie also could adjust the ball a little bit better. Certainly miss on that one.
All right, so now 2 seconds left on this is 3rd and 7, rather. That's Stevie.
That's Brad Smith and
there.
A really nice play by Cromartie, getting his hand in there, knocking the football out just at the last minute.
Yeah, and Cromartie actually had one go the other way against Brad Smith early in the game, where Brad Smith tipped it up and made the great catch. So here's the one with 2 seconds left on 4th and 7. He's going Stevie's way again and again. They're just not on the same page. The Jets hang on to win. Buffalo lost 3 straight games on that road trip. And we go Schwab talking numbers and alluding to what we were just talking about with the Jets offense. It's not great, but their red zone offense has been quite good. They have trouble getting there, but when they're there, they're pretty darn good. They're averaging nearly 18 points per game in the red zone and have converted almost 2/3 of their red zone chances into points, which is 2nd in the league. Yesterday, Mark Sanchez threw 4 touchdown passes in the red zone, giving him 15 on the season, although he completed less than 50% of his passes. So it was clearly feast or famine for Mark Sanchez, but when they got close, he made it pay off. Still coming here on NFL Primetime, Caleb Haney didn't start great and didn't finish great, but in the middle, perhaps gave the Bears something, but the Raiders special teams were special. The word they were saying in Tennessee today, finally, what we were expecting out of Chris Johnson all season long, and Tom Brady and the Patriots just having fun with Philadelphia in this one.
NFL Primetime is streaming live on your computer, tablet, or smartphone via WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Thursday Night Football live on ESPN America. In Week 13, it's time for the Battle of the Birds. The Eagles' hopes of the NFC East are slipping away. Will Vic deliver a strong performance and get Philly flying high once more? Or can the 12th man inspire the unpredictable Seahawks to victory in Holland?
So Todd Haley saying we got a chance, but then on 1st and 15, Palco throws it deep, and notice not the interception by Keenan Lewis, but what the heck was Dwayne Bowe doing, choosing not to participate, Tim?
Wasn't going up and fighting for the football. Jumps up in the air, arms are down, doesn't even reach for the football. That's a poor effort, and that's selling out your quarterback right there by Dwayne Bowe.
Yeah, choosing not to participate. Steelers hang on to win 13-9. Meanwhile, much more offense, many more points and yards in the game between the Patriots and the Eagles. This only the second time these two teams have met since the Patriots beat them in Super Bowl 39, 24-21. Second quarter, Patriots down. It's 3rd and 13. Now, listen, if you're going to give Tom Brady time, it's easy pickings. That's like, asset managers from Greenwich winning the Powerball, which actually happened as Deion Branch goes 63 yards down to the 1. Tim, this was Tom Brady doing a great job here.
And Tom Brady and Deion Branch have such great chemistry. The play breaks down. He gets outside the pocket. Now watch Deion Branch. Runs his route, sees his quarterback's in trouble, so he decides to work for him. Tom Brady's able to find him. And there goes Deion Branch.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis would score on a 1-yard touchdown later. Later in the second quarter, Brady off play action. If you thought that was easy, Merrill, this is easier. A great job by Brady, and Welker is wide open over the middle. Another touchdown. Meanwhile, another time, this is just great effort by Welker here.
Yeah, and Wes Welker's so good. We know he's so good at running these underneath routes, but very underrated after he catches the football, especially down and tight.
All right, 2nd and 19, no problem. They throw it to Rob Gronkowski. Gronk score, Gronk spike, Gronk happy. Brady, 361 yards, 3 touchdowns. As for Deshaun Jackson, we showed Dwayne Bowe not having the most committed of days, and that one's right through the hands, and Vince Young can't believe it. Eagles would add a field goal at that point, 24-13. Later in the third quarter, Eagles ball 1st and 10. Young deep down the middle, and Deshaun Jackson, Tim, he just...
Yes. You want to see guys go up and fight for the football. Doesn't matter what kind of traffic they're in. We're not getting that out of Deshaun Jackson.
He was actually benched in the fourth quarter here. Julian Edelman channeling his inner Troy Brown here, doing a little bit of everything. BY's going to take off. That's the receiver, Julian Edelman. What a great tackle.
That is a great play. Look at this now. Vince Young in space. Julian Edelman right there. Squares him up, gets him down to the ground. Excellent play.
The more you can do, the longer they let you stay. Vince Young, airing this one out, can't get it to Jason Devant. Why was he under pressure?
Oh, because here comes Julian Edelman. And look at Julian Edelman, knowing where to hit the quarterback.
Down low, rattles him, and the Patriots win again, 38-20. And time for the Radio Shack right call. And I think the right call now is to say it's done in Philadelphia. Whatever momentum they had over the win over the Giants was squashed by that home loss to the New England Patriots. And Tom Brady put up a lot of numbers, but when you looked at the tape, it was the other side of the ball for New England that's been much maligned, the defense, that you didn't think looked so bad.
Yeah, listen, they're not perfect, and they're not going to be the strength of that football team. Let's not get carried away with that, but they're playing complementary football, and really that's what the New England Patriots need. And we can talk so much about them, struggling against the pass, being one of the worst ranked teams against the pass. But look how they rank in terms of scoring. The 11th best in the National Football League. Look how they are against the run. People want to run the football, keep it out of Tom Brady's hands. I'm going to tell you right now, you look at what they're doing, they're playing like the Patriots teams have played in the past in terms of creating turnovers. You see the interceptions tied for second in the NFL, and it's guys like Rob Ninkovich stepping up and making plays with sacks and interceptions. Kyle Arrington come up with interceptions. And as you said, his inner Troy Brown, Julian Edelman playing on that side of the ball. They're not going to be perfect. They're not going to shut anybody out. But if you're scoring less than 20 points, you're going to have a hard time beating Tom Brady, who's on pace to throw for over 5,200 yards and 40 touchdowns this year. So I'm not panicking yet on that defense for the New England Patriots.
The real concern, maybe when we get into the postseason, whether or not Tom Brady and company can put up those numbers against the top quality defenses, which we saw them struggle earlier this season against the Pittsburgh Steelers. As for struggling defenses, Merrill, we clearly saw that on the Philadelphia side of the ball.
Trey, the Philadelphia Eagles have had some schematic errors, some physical errors, but it's the mental errors that keep popping up every week that are hurting this Eagle team, specifically the defense. Now, the play we're going to look at right here, we're going to focus on the nickel back here, free safety to this side. With Danny Woodhead in the backfield, all Tom Brady's going to do is do a little draw fake to him. Danny Woodhead's going to fake it and take off running. But I want you to watch the reaction to these two defensive backs on the other side. As Tom Brady makes a quick little fake, turns around to throw it, look at where they are already. They've already committed this way. In fact, Wes Welker's going to sit it down right here, but once he sees the safety commit, he says, I'm gone, brother. He's going to throw his hand up right there, and look at that. Anytime you have a guy going full speed this way and one going that way, no way can you recover and make a play on him. Tom Brady read it, Wes Welker read it, and it was another huge mental error by the Philadelphia Eagle defense. Result, touchdown, Patriots.
Merrill, thank you. Always good to hear from you. When we continue here on NFL Primetime, if there's a quarterback named Matt and you're thinking about playing for the Texans, run the other way. The odds are not with you. and issues at quarterback as well in Chicago. What went wrong with Caleb Haney?
The Right Call is brought to you by Radio Shack. Radio Shack has what you need to make the holidays so right.
College basketball doubleheader live on ESPN America. First up, those Big Ten sharpshooters, Indiana. Then the Hokies roll into Minneapolis to take on the Golden Gophers. It all starts Wednesday at 0100 CET, live on ESPN America, the home court of college hoops.
Down, bootleg, shove, sets it up, drop ball. Lawrence Vickers had room.
He's looking for a place to hide right now. He had a walk-in touchdown, and he knows it.
And Shove spikes it with 7 seconds on the clock. After the passing of Al Davis yesterday, Just Win Baby lives for the Raiders.
Adrian Peterson cuts outside. Inside the 10. His vision is ridiculous. Peterson, and that's a touchdown Vikings. Peterson carries. Adrian Peterson, touchdown. Look at that power.
Night countdown. 2 NFC playoff contenders square off in the Big Easy. Giants, Saints. Drew Brees takes a ride on Coach Gruden's bus.
You're a surgeon, that's what you are. You just cut people up.
The keys to New Orleans' high-powered offense. Plus, the plays from Thanksgiving weekend that had us all shouting, "Come on, man!" Monday Night Countdown, taking you right up to kickoff of Giants at Saints. 7 Eastern on ESPN.
Welcome back to Prime Time. I'm Wendy Nex in New Orleans with a team report. The Saints defense has managed just 5 interceptions this season, tied for worst in the league. To that end, defensive coordinator Greg Williams dug into game film during the bye week and tells us he found 9 different plays where a Saints defender got not 1 but 2 hands on a ball and failed to make the pick. Williams says he's pleased with his cover corners, Tracy Porter and Jabari Greer, but that it's time to step up and catch some balls. Williams added that if he can get Drew Brees just 1 extra possession per game, the Saints can beat anybody.
Primetime continues with the Bears taking on the Raiders. This was the first start for Caleb Haney, filling in for Jay Cutler. It got off to a rough start, Tim. They're down 3-0, and Caleb doesn't see much. He's flushed out of the pocket, and he makes the throw he can't make.
And they don't need him to do this, getting outside the pocket, trying to create, throw the football away, live to play another down. They don't need him to be the playmaker for that offense.
That would lead to a Raiders field goal. There were many of those on the day. Bears down 6-0. Another errant throw intercepted by Michael Huff. Haney 2 picks in the first quarter. Jay Cutler will come over, actually made the trip and said, listen, my man, we can't be doing that. We just need to be making sure you made the right throws.
I'll tell you this, though. Listen right here, not on him. That offensive lineman needs to block that when it's man-to-man.
Well, maybe the interception is not on him, but you want to talk about the offensive line? Look at my man Lance Lewis, play of the year. Huffing and puffing about 80 yards and gets in there. Forget the horse collar. You got to appreciate the effort by the big man. Yes, he was flagged for the play, but you know what? The tackle and the ensuing penalty saved 4 points. It led to another Sebastian Janikowski field goal. Trust me, it killed my fantasy team. Sebastian Janikowski set a Raiders record. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6. 6 of 6 on field goals. That was a new Raider record. But with all of this, Tim, Caleb Haney had some moments, including this one in the fourth quarter, 3 minutes to play. On 3rd and 16, you can't throw it any better than this.
You can't throw it any better than this, and that is why this is the prime Tim Dime. Remember, Trey? Remember, Merrill? The E is silent. Look at Caleb Haney, and look at where he puts this football. Throws it about 54 yards in the air and perfectly places it over the shoulder of Johnny Knox. Nice job.
And then 3rd and 10. Caleb Haney trying to make something else happen. Moving. It's Matt Forte. Those are the throws he can make. That's very good. Okay, so there's less than 10 seconds left. They still have a chance they're going to spike it, right? And if you're going to spike it, Tim, you have to spike it, correct?
And you have to spike it right away.
Yeah, you can't do the pump fake on the spike, because that's called what, Tim?
That's intentional grounding.
And that leads to a what?
That's a 10-second runoff.
That is correct. And with 4 seconds left, game over. Yeah. You just, if you're going to spike, you either throw it at this point.
Inexcusable.
Yeah.
It's not the first time he's played quarterback, first time he started an NFL game, though.
And thanks to that, the Raiders and Sebastian Janikowski win 25-20. Shane Leckler was pretty good in that game, too, by the way. More on that later. Texans, Jaguars. Matt Leinart getting the first start, coming off the bye because Matt Schaub is out. And, you know, the running game didn't help him early. Arian Foster fumbled, led to a touchdown by Ashton Yebote. I just wanted to say the name Ashton Yebote. But that's a great throw, Tim, right there.
Excellent throw. Great anticipation, and guy in his face. But this is where it all went wrong for Matt Leinart.
Jeremy Mincey tackled right down on his left shoulder. Remember, he's left-handed. He would leave the game. Collarbone looks like he's done for the year, which means it's TJ Yates time. And this was the most impressive thing about Yates. He came in cold and ran a 2-minute drill for points.
That's exactly.
Boy, had pressure right in his face, too. Love that.
Yeah. They would get a field goal out of it to lead 20-10. As for the defense, they're number one for a reason, and Blaine Gabbert felt the brunt of it, Merrill.
There's no question. They do a lot of great things up front, schematic-wise, to get pressure. It's not just one guy. Their scheme, they've adjusted beautifully, gotten better each and every game as the season has progressed.
Can you say the same about Blaine Gabbert, Tim?
No, can't say the same about him. And, you know, much like TJ Yates standing in the face of pressure, we haven't seen that from Blaine Gabbert all year.
Yeah, sacked. Connor Barwin was great. J.J. Watt got that sack. Gabbert in favor of Luke McCown. I mentioned Connor Barwin. There he is as Luke comes in. 4 sacks for Barwin. Late in the drive, it's 4th and 2, and McCown trying to make something happen. It's still a one-score game, but it's broken up. And without Leinart and without Schaub and with Yates, the Texans hang on to win 20-13. So, guys, here's their schedule left. The good news for them, they have a 2-game lead in their division. With their third-string quarterback, can they hang on?
I think they can hang on into the playoffs. I just don't think they can win in the playoffs.
I agree with you 100%. I do think they're still a playoff football team.
You know who disagrees with both of you?
You, I'm sure.
No, the quarterback that is the brother of one Tim Hasselbeck. That would be Matthew Hasselbeck. Matthew Hasselbeck and company.
Wrong all the time.
Well, that's probably true. Playing the Bucs, and remember, they're the ones that may be the best ones to take advantage of the quarterback situation in Houston. Mike Munchak decides Mark Mariani is a Pro Bowl kick returner, so let's hand it off to Tommy Campbell. And this was a brilliant decision as he goes 84 yards for the touchdown, but it was the sell by Campbell, Tim, that sold it.
And, you know, these things usually look good on the board, but look bad when you're trying to execute it. But look at him in the front line. They hand it off to Campbell. And, man, did this guy eat up some ground. Look at the speed.
You can't execute a handoff like that any better.
You can't. And you know who finally executed the running game well, Merrill? They're waiting all year for this. Chris Johnson.
You know what? The one thing I saw different in this game is he was decisive at the point of attack. Didn't hesitate. If there wasn't anything there, he hit the hole. And the result, a big day for Chris Johnson.
So you're telling me it was more about patience and just taking what was there?
Combination. They weren't winning at the point of attack. And when they wouldn't, Chris Johnson wouldn't hurt that by trying to make a big play. Yesterday, he hit the hole. He hit the point of attack. He created a hole, pulled the defense over. He got a seal here and a seal there, and he was in the alley.
For 190 yards on 23 carries. As for Matthew, third quarter, you can't throw that. Tim.
Remember I told you he's wrong?
That's correct. That was a wrong decision. Aqib Talib says thank you very much. 27 yards for the score.
Wide receivers going to stay flat on.
Bucs go up 17-10, but just over 3 minutes to go. Titans down 17-13. Damian Williams. Yes, clearly Tim hates his brother.
I clearly hate him. Look at him find him in the back of the end zone there. Directed
Williams
traffic
for the score.
Look at that, directed traffic. Nice job at a crucial moment in the football game, and good job of Damian Williams working the back end line.
Titans take the lead on this one 20-17, but they left time for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And just over a minute to go, it's a 6-point game. 3rd and 10 from the Titans 34. Freeman over the middle to Craig Lumpkin, who can't quite get there. So they have no timeouts left. They've got to get the first down, but Josh on the quarterback sneak loses the ball. And remember, on 4th down, only the guy who fumbles it can advance it. He can't get the first down. Titans hang on to win 23-17. When primetime continues, Beanie Wells' NFL career has been marked by one word mostly: injury. It's now marked by another series of words: 200-yard rushing game, as he ran all over the St. Louis Rams. And Cam Newton continues to run all over the record book when it comes to quarterbacks. And the Colts, once again, agonizingly close, but not good enough.
ESPN America, bringing you the best NHL action all season long. On Friday night, the high-powered Detroit Red Wings are in Buffalo. Can Miller and the Sabres shut them down? Or will the Wings skate off to victory? Red Wings at Sabres, Friday at 01:30 CET, live on ESPN America.
That took a lot of heart, that took a lot of character, but that was one great defensive performance. It was great team performance. Offense, special teams, everybody. Clutch! Clutch! Did not
Fourth and goal for San Francisco. Smith throws, the catch is made by Delaney Walker. Touchdown, 49ers take the lead.
There's something special about this team now. Yes, sir. Something special. This building, something remarkable going on here, okay?
4th down and 5. Lions must get to the 30, and they do not.
That's the best defensive performance I've ever seen.
And the San Francisco 49ers are 5-1.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
In 2010, Vernon Davis proved he was worth a new 5-year contract, leading the San Francisco 49ers in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Davis's 914 receiving yards ranked second in the league among tight ends, and his 16.3 yards per catch ranked first. With new head coach Jim Harbaugh, Davis should continue to be one of the 49ers' most explosive offensive threats in 2011.
Don't miss college football live all season on ESPN America.
You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
Minnesota Vikings taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan and company trying to get that positive mojo going after that heartbreaking loss a couple of weeks back, string together some wins, and Matt Ryan loves having Harry Douglas back.
And Harry Douglas, look at the run after the catch, the strength through the contact. Nice job working down the field.
Remember, no Adrian Peterson in this one. Falcons up
Peterson.
Of
that right?
Eden Prairie Petersons. And then Roddy White back in the end zone. It's 14-0. Fourth quarter, Falcons cling to a 3-point lead. It's Michael Palmer. Ryan, 27 for 34, 3 touchdowns on the day. Now, Percy Harvin had himself a very interesting afternoon. It's the fourth quarter, Vikings down 17-7. They're going for it on 4th and 13, and Ponder to Percy, and Harvin wins at the point of attack. 39-yard touchdown. It's a 3-point game. Later in the fourth, Vikings down 24-14. He's deep in the end zone. You don't want to come out unless you're Percy Harvin. And this one is one that fantasy owners will rue everywhere, because this is a touchdown unless he's caught. It's a 104-yard return, the longest non-scoring play in NFL history. But later on the drive, second and goal. Harvin, no, stop short. All right, remember, no Adrian Peterson, so we'll try something else. Next play, let's go to Harvin again. No, stop short. So maybe we'll actually go to a running back this time and try and figure it out after two to a wide receiver who is very explosive. And it's Toby Gerhart. And it's no, stopped one more time. They got nothing out of that return. Falcons go on to win 24-14. Oh, it's time for NFC westbound and down, and certainly the Niners are not part of that equation, but the Rams,
not anymore,
and the Cardinals, and Patrick Peterson. Remember the last time they played? Week 9. Patrick Peterson, of course, had the return. But Patrick Peterson, of course, had another big game. Look at the stuff on Brandon Gibson. Stops him short. The Rams are forced to punt. And when the Rams punt, you don't want to punt to Patrick Peterson, because he basically is Devin Hester light, or Devin Hester the sequel, or Devin Hester the clone, because he's gone 80 yards for the score. 2 against the Rams this year, fourth punt return of the season, ties the NFL single-season record. Cardinals up 20-10. And if it wasn't Patrick Peterson running, Merrill, it was Beanie Wells running.
No question. Great job at point of attack. And you talk about some canales for him.
Yeah.
Big canales.
That was a 71-yard run, the longest run of his career. And, of course, in the Arizona offense, it set up a field goal. Cardinals trailed 7-3 at that point. Cardinals up 20-13, and this looks scary. Beanie's had some injury issues. The ball's ripped free, and you see his leg twist, and the Rams are calling people over. It didn't look good. Thankfully, though, he stayed down for a while as you see the knee and the leg twist like that. But he came back in. And when he got the ball again, Merrill, you would talk about canales, they had some for him.
We just might do a good job here up front of getting movement. Once you get movement at the point of attack and you create a seal, well, all you need is another seal. And then you have a canale or an alley. See the seal there and the seal there? My seal of approval because we have an alley.
Yeah, that was a 53-yarder. Wells, by the way, also gets a couple of great blocks, set up the game-winning field goal, 27 carries, 228 yards, and the Cardinals win 23-20. Meanwhile, after a couple of losses within the division to the Ravens and the Steelers, Cincinnati had to find a way to beat Cleveland. They were down for most of this game. In the third, they're down by 10. Dalton to A.J. Green, who missed last week, and A.J. great adjustment for a gain of 35 yards and the first down. A.J. Green getting back into it on the very next play. Dalton to the tight end Jermaine Gresham for 22 yards, and that's a great catch there. And now it's a 3-point game. As for the Browns' special teams, well, on this Sunday, they were in many ways the anti-Raiders. Fourth quarter, under 2 minutes left, game tied at 20. Phil Dawson was a very good kicker. That one was bad from the beginning, but it wasn't Dawson's fault, Tim, was it?
Just look at this snap here, and this has been an issue for the Browns. It rolls back to the holder. You can't have that happen, messes up the timing, and you miss the field goal.
Yeah, actually, a great job by the holder to even get it there for Dawson to kick. Laces out, Dan. So, meanwhile, on the final drive, a minute left, it's 3rd and 7 for the Bengals. Andy Dalton loves his other rookie, A.J. Green, and they're going there again. It is a 51-yard grab.
This guy was such a natural football player, plays fast, may not have the fastest 40, but he plays fast and makes big-time plays in critical situations.
And a great job by Dalton there, taking a shot and
trusting him.
Yep,
great chemistry developed.
Well, you can trust the guy who'll go fight for the ball like that.
The chemistry those two have, both in their rookie years, pretty good. So on 4th and goal, in comes Mike Nugent, cat scratch fever, and the Bengals go on to win 23-20. Dalton 21 of 31, Green 110 receiving yards. As for those teams, or technically at this point, the team most down on their luck, that would be the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of people thought Cam Newton coming in as a rookie at home, maybe this is the winnable game for them. Maybe not. Second quarter, Panthers up 3-0, and that is the 10th rushing touchdown for Cam Newton. Keep in mind, the NFL record for rushing touchdowns by a quarterback is 12, set by Steve Grogan way back in the day for the Patriots.
Really? Wait, Grogs?
Yeah, remember the neck collar he had on there?
Linebacker.
A more traditional running attack, D'Angelo Williams from 25 yards. Panthers up 17-10, but fourth quarter, Colts down 24-13. It's 3rd and 9. Curtis Painter to Reggie Wayne, and we have a Reggie Wayne sighting, and a great move by Reggie, not once, but twice to get into the end zone. 56-yard touchdown. Colts' 2-point conversion attempt is unsuccessful. 40 seconds left in the game, they're down by 8, and Austin Collie and tipped, and somehow Sherrod Martin stays in it. The Colts continue the offer for the season, 27-19. When we continue here on Prime Time, hand out the best of the best at Week 12. Who earned top honors? That's ahead. Stay with us.
NFL Prime Time is presented by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
This is your not-so-fast game, right?
That's not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast.
Not so fast. Arizona State in a not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, my friend.
Nobody remembers I was a coach now. They think I'm a pencil salesman.
The Black Dixon #2 pencil is going to kill him.
Lieutenant Colonel,
Not so fast.
not so fast.
Delayed, not so fast.
Rocky Top, not so fast.
College Game Day, all season on ESPN America.
Now 2nd and 2. You get a first at the 1. They run it again with Greenhouse. And he carries Boo with him. Touchdown.
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. He is the slammer.
Green Ellis in for the touchdown. His second of the day.
Running is tough, hard, especially to get near the goal line. Go with the man that you trust.
ESPN America isn't just your source for North American sports in Europe and the Middle East.
It's a community that brings American sports fans together.
Oh, my! Can you believe that? Yeah!
We've taken fandom to the next level on espnamerica.com,
where you'll find unique and exclusive content tailored for our viewers, including podcasts, blogs, photo galleries, and competitions.
Plus, you can watch game highlights.
Oh, the silence of the Lamb.
The open Lamb slam.
And read behind-the-scene interviews with some of your favorite athletes.
If that's not enough, we're available on Twitter and Facebook,
so you can debate your favorite sports topics with other passionate fans.
And follow some of your favorite ESPN America personalities.
Let's go to work.
Magnifique.
There's no question about that.
What are you waiting for? Join our community. Check out ESPN America's great apps on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Get into the game on espnamerica.com.
Who's Hungry is brought to you by Snickers, who remind you to play hungry, but not literally hungry. And watch the film The Man Who Played Literally Hungry at NFL.com/Snickers.
Don't forget to check out Audibles every Thursday, 7 Eastern on ESPN, where you, the viewer, send in your questions via Twitter and Facebook. Thursday, 7 Eastern, Audibles. Meanwhile, Redskins and Seahawks, because America demands more of Rex Grossman. Redskins trying to avoid losing 7 consecutive games. Fourth quarter, Redskins down by 10. Roy, hello. 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 Oh, looking to break a tackle and get into the end zone, and Roy Halou does what Roy Halou does. Pretty impressive.
That's right.
LeGarrette Blount also did this today, so we're being discriminatory in our hurdle show.
However, that was a touchdown.
That's all. I'll give you that. Later, it is 17-14. It is a 3rd and 19, and that's just a great win by Anthony Armstrong.
Why couldn't that be prime Tim Dine?
Good adjustment by Anthony Armstrong.
All right, fair enough. Redskins hang on to win 23-17. I know we're all hungry, and I know America is hungry for who you guys have picked for the best of the best. Tim, you're going where?
I'm going with Wes Welker.
Wes Welker.
115 yards. Wes Welker was wicked good. 2 touchdown receptions. Fearless running in the middle of the field.
Wicked smart choice. Merrill?
I'm going Von Miller, constantly in the backfield. This guy has been Rookie Defensive Player of the Year thus far, and reminds me a lot of Lawrence Taylor.
Whoa! Way to drop the LT card.
Oh,
I am going with the Raiders special team. Sebastian Janikowski with 6 field goals. That is a Raiders record. But the thing that you have to remember this is Shane Leckler did a great job punting away from Devin Hester. Had a couple of boomers, including one for 80 yards.
Great job getting 2 kickers involved.
That's what we do. That's Trent Dilfer would not approve of that message. Thanks for watching NFL Primetime. See you.
After more than a month of chaos, Rivalry Week arrived. Instead of upheaval, fueled by passionate disdain for an enemy, order was restored. #1